So, what is going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing and welcome back to another zombies video. Today, we are taking a look at the top 5 things we have yet to see within Revelations. These are things we are missing. These are things we saw within the trailer that we should have in the game that we have yet to discover. As always, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. That has been absolutely amazing. So if we could keep that up, if we could hit the like goal of 1,115 likes, that iconic zombies number, that'd be awesome. But anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Coming in at number 5 is the Hell's Retriever. Now, the Revelations trailer, if you guys can remember, was actually full of quite a few things that we have not yet seen within the game. And one of these is the Hell's Retriever. When you see our characters running through the map, just behind following them, you see this red smoke or mist, which is our first clue that this is the Hell's Retriever. This is what you usually see when you throw it. This red smoke is what follows. But the dead giveaway that this is the Hell's Retriever is, in fact, if you zoom in, you can see the outline, the shadow of an axe, which again is what you would see with the Hell's Retriever. Now, usually, if I'm correct in saying this, you would actually see the axe itself, but strangely in the trailer we only see the shadow or the outline. Whether it's just me being stupid or whether it's just a little bit faint, we don't know. Also remembering that this is Black Ops 3 graphics. Textures have been changed since we saw this in Black Ops 2, so you would expect it to look a little bit different. However, this is definitely the Hell's Retriever. But as I'm sure you guys know, we have yet to discover this within the game. We've got the Ragnaroks, we've got the Thunder Gun, the Apothecary Servant. We have quite a few wonder weapons and special weapons, but the Hell's Retriever for me would be the best. It's definitely in the trailer. We have yet to find it in the game, and I believe there are so many more secrets and Easter eggs we have yet to discover within Revelations, and this is just one of them. Coming in at number 4, we have another weapon, or something you can use to help you out in protection, is the rocket shield. Go over to the trailer and you will see we have one of our characters using the rocket shield to blast forward. Now, the strange thing is, we have a shield in the game, but it's the dragon one from Gorod Korovu, which in my opinion is the best. But the rocket shield was shown in the trailer. Again, it is not in the game. So something strange is definitely going on. Now, if you ask me, either it's another Easter egg and we can either change the shield, or it's one we have yet to find, or Treyarch at the last minute decided to change from the rocket shield to the dragon shield. But for me, that would make no sense. The trailer literally came out a few days, if not a week, before the game actually released, and if Treyarch are going to change their minds on weapons that short before the map is supposed to come out, to me that doesn't really make too much sense, and it's not something that Treyarch would usually do. We know they plan their maps. They've been planning the ending of this for a few years now, or at least since Mob of the Dead. They have known where they are going, so the rocket shield, things like this, just changing it at the last second, for me, doesn't really make too much sense. Either there's a second Easter egg in here, and part of that involves us being able to get the rocket shield. I definitely don't think we build it by picking up parts, because we would have found that out by now, but I believe if this is in the game, we may somehow be able to change the dragon shield to the rocket shield, or somehow be able to upgrade the dragon shield to the rocket shield. However, you can see it's in the trailer, it's not in the game. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let's get into number 3. Now, in one of the trailers, something very, very strange happens to Richtof, and in fact, a couple of scenes in the trailer, clearly cut scenes, don't happen within the game. End it! We've solved the Easter egg recently, and these have yet to happen. Now, there's loads of discussion right now saying that there is a second Easter egg in Revelations. Personally, with the amount of evidence that we got, I believe there also could be, and what I'm about to show you could relate to the second Easter egg. Now, notice, we first off see the Shadow Man in his apothecary form. Look at the background. Take a look at the background. It is different to where we saw the Shadow Man in our first Easter egg. He should be in the crypt. And then the next scene revolves Richtofen screaming in pain as his whole body lights up. Now, as I said, we don't see anything like this happen within the game. It's clear that the Shadow Man has done something to Richtofen. From what we know, storyline wise, the Shadow Man and Richtofen used to be friends. Richtofen used to be the Shadow Man's apprentice, or at least that's what he tells us. But this is nowhere to be seen within the game, and in fact, doesn't relate to anything we've seen in the Easter egg already. We know the Shadow Man gets defeated, the Apothecans get banished, then we come to the ending where Dr. Monty resets the cycle. The cycle continues and sends our characters straight back to premise to begin all over again. There's actually a cipher you can find within Revelations where Dempsey talks about him having to hide from Dr. Monty, about him, the characters and the children have gone to a separate universe to hide from Dr. Monty, and Dempsey says he is the last of them, he is dying. As I'm sure you guys will notice, that cipher does not relate to what we've already seen in our Revelations Easter egg. In fact, Dr. Monty knows exactly where he sent the characters, and none of them in that cutscene are dying because they are Primus. So if we have a cipher telling us they have hid from Dr. Monty and gone to a different universe, and in fact Dempsey is dying, that tells us that there should be a second ending. So in fact, if we have a second cipher telling us that our characters have had to hide from Dr. Monty, and that Dempsey is dying, you will see this doesn't relate to the Easter egg we've seen, and in fact, that tells us that there should be a second ending that explains what's happening in this cipher, and that could relate to what we are seeing in this trailer. If we have the Shadow Man doing something to Richtofen crying out in pain, could that be what Dempsey is talking about? Could the Shadow Man have killed Richtofen? Dempsey is the last of them to die. We don't see anything of Monty in this trailer, but clearly from what Dempsey is saying, he has turned evil and they have had to hide from him. So I just thought I'd point that one out. It's something we see happen in the trailer, which could be important to solving another Easter egg. Coming in at number 2 now, this one, when we first saw this, I debated in my head whether we would see this in the game. Personally, I don't think this was ever intended to be in Revelations, but a lot of people have been asking me where is this, so I'm going to put it into the video to try to clear it up. Now, when Maxis goes down into the basement, you will notice in the background there is the Dragonite controller. Once again, you see it in the trailer, but it's not in the game. Now, for me, this could have just been Treyarch being lazy. I think this just could have been Treyarch reusing that feature to make the basement look a lot more fuller than instead of adding in some new features, which to me does make sense. And in my opinion, it wouldn't make sense to add this into the game since we see there are no dragons. Yes, we have this giant apothecon, but I don't think that's going to be breathing fire down into our map. However, there are people that will say, it's in the trailer, this doesn't necessarily mean we have to have a dragon in the map, but some features from this could still work in Revelations itself. Personally, I just believe this could have been a little Easter egg from Treyarch, or them just being a little bit lazy. I don't believe it was intended to be in the game, but it's definitely in the trailer. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below, and let's get into number 1, which is our second Easter egg ending. Now, at first, I believe there wouldn't be a second Easter egg ending. One of the main reasons is because we already have the achievements, or at least 2 of them we got for completing the one in Revelations. Now, I have to admit, I haven't taken a look at the achievements to see if there are any more or any secret ones that could relate to a second Easter egg. So at first, I didn't believe there would be one, but because of all the evidence and things we've seen, honestly, it would make perfect sense for there to be a second Easter egg. Now, although we don't specifically see it within the trailer, we see glimpses of cutscenes and things that could potentially be linked to our second Easter egg. As I said earlier, we saw Richtofen dying, the Shadow Man doing something to him. That could relate to the second Easter egg. We see nothing about the children in our first Easter egg ending. We see nothing about Dempsey dying, Monty being evil. We see things in the game that make no sense to what we see at the end of Revelations already, and all that, to me, links to there being a second Easter egg. Now, if there is, honestly, I would have thought people would have at least started to see steps of it by now, but if that's the case, I'm thinking maybe it's something that Treyarch are going to add in 1 month later on down the line. Maybe when Xbox have got their hands on this. Jason Blundell told us the information, the Easter eggs within here are supposed to last us 18 months, and if that's the case, the second alternate ending could even be something Treyarch add in a year from now, or secretly add in progressively for us to eventually unlock. I am convinced there is a lot more to Revelations, and clearly by the things we see in the trailer, the Hell's Retriever, things happening to Richtofen the rocket shield, hints to a second ending. There is so much that we have yet to discover, and so many things that we still haven't found within the game, and hopefully this video can help you all out. But there we go, guys. Thank you for watching. Leave a like rating if you have enjoyed. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more zombies videos, and I will see you all within the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.